Hello, I'm Daniel, and welcome to the Emunah Project. We here at the Emunah Project are continuing in our series of videos with respect to inspiration, information, guidance, advice, and I want to continue this morning with respect to the idea of judging people favorably, finding or not finding faults in others and not being so quick to be that judgmental. I mentioned in a previous video the analogy of a kohen, a priest, inspecting for negaim, for plagues, for tsaras in a house. In biblical law, only the kohanim, only the priests are allowed to make that call, nobody else. But a priest can make a call on tsaras, on what's miscalled leprosy, or any other plague, except his own. He can't make the call, he can't make the determination if the tsaras is him, his house, somebody close. Because the closer you are, the more you lose your objectivity. Let's keep this in mind. The Baal Shem Tov said that a person who is without faults, a saintly tzaddik, can't find fault in other people. Why? Because when we find faults in others, when we don't judge people favorably, when we see the flaws in others, it's basically a mirror reflecting back our own faults. If we criticize someone for having a defect, the Baal Shem Tov says, that's basically, the person is like a mirror. He's reflecting back our own defect. I'm reminded of a story about the Belzer Rebbe. When the Belzer Rebbe moved to Tel Aviv, a relatively secular city. And of course, he'd be walking around on Shabbos and people would be driving. And it is said that the Belzer Rebbe refused to believe. He would not accept that a Jew would deliberately commit a chilul Shabbos, a desecration of Shabbos. He started off with the presumption that, oh, that woman driving on Shabbos, she must be going to the hospital. Maybe she's in labor. Maybe she's taking a child. And maybe it's a situation of pekuach nefesh. She's saving a life. That person over there, it's an emergency. He always looked for the best. He always looked on the positive aspect. Similarly, because, this is what we should do. And I mentioned before, the closer somebody is, you lose your objectivity. This is why a judge cannot accept a bribe. Because if he accepts a bribe, he loses his objectivity. He's not fair, he's not impartial. He becomes basically at one with whoever the litigant is that bribed him. When we deal with people, let's judge people favorably. Let's give people the same kind of slack we cut ourselves when we mess up, when we do something wrong, when we're acting in an improper way. We tend, when judging ourselves, to make excuses, make exceptions, bend the rules. Let's try and do that to others when we see them, when we see their faults. Say, you know what? That person seems like a very, very arrogant person. Maybe that person is reflecting my own arrogance. Maybe I'm being that way. If you see a person is being rude, maybe it's God showing me that I could work on my derech eretz, on my manners and politeness. We can learn from everything. We can learn from everything. We can learn from good people. We can learn through adverse example from bad people. But we should all try very hard to judge people favorably. We're going to be doing more videos along these lines. Please come back. Please watch. Please learn. I hope these videos are of use to you, and until next time, on behalf of the Emunah Project, I'm Daniel, and thank you too much.